Hi, welcome to our next level 1 tables, equations and graphs video. We're still talking parabolic functions and we're going to look at the vertical and horizontal shifts that can occur. Right, so we know quadratics are expressions that have x squared as the highest power and they produce graphs called parabolas or parabolas. Right, let's go to example 1 and show you what the very basic parabola is, y equal to x squared. On the last video, we showed you how to draw these things with the table. In this example, y equal to x squared, we have a vertex sitting on the origin. If I asked you to draw the graph y equal to x squared plus 3, it is actually the same graph as y equal to x squared, but the whole graph has moved up 3 squares. That's what this plus 3 at the end does. If I asked you to draw the graph y equal to x squared minus 3, well, it's the same graph as y equal to x squared, but the whole thing is shifted down 3 squares vertically. That's what the minus 3 represents. Right, let's talk about the horizontal shift now. So let's go back to y equal to x squared, the parabola that has a vertex sitting on the origin. If I asked you to draw y equal to, inside brackets, x minus 4, close brackets, all squared, the graph is going to sit out here. It's the same graph as y equal to x squared, but it has moved 4 squares horizontally to the right. And you've got to be a bit careful when we see numbers inside brackets when we do graph work. If we see a minus 4, it actually represents a shift to the positive 4, to the right. So if I asked you to draw the graph y equal to bracket x plus 5, close brackets, all squared, then the graph is going to move to the left by 5 squares, and that's because inside brackets you need to think of it as being opposite. I see a plus 5, so I'm shifting to the left by 5 squares. Right, so let's quickly sum up. When we see y equal to x squared plus c, that's a vertical shift. So when we plus a number on the end of x squared, the whole graph gets moved up by whatever value c is vertically. When we see y equal to x squared minus c, the whole graph goes down, shifted vertically down by whatever number c is. If we have brackets x plus b inside brackets all squared, because it's a plus b, we're moving to the left, to the negative, to the whatever b is. Say b was plus 3, we'd move to the negative 3. And if b was a minus 4, for example, we're going to move to the right, a horizontal shift to the right, maybe by 4 squares, if that's what b was. Right, now let's get a little tricky. Let's have a look at this graph. Y equal to bracket x minus 4, close brackets, all squared plus 3. There's 2 parts to it we're going to chat about. One is to do with shifting horizontally, and one is to do with shifting vertically. Here's what the graph looks like. And let me explain why. That's the vertex right there. The vertex is 4 across and 3 up. So let me explain what's gone on. See that x minus 4 in brackets, that's a horizontal shift. And because it's minus inside the brackets, we've got to go across to the positive 4. So the graph has moved 4 squares to the right. And see that plus 3 at the end, that represents a vertical shift. So the graph has gone 4 squares to the right and then 3 squares up to get to the vertex. Right, one more example to try and put this together. So y equals bracket x plus 4, close bracket, squared, minus 2. Here's what the graph looks like. And once again, the vertex has moved 4 squares to the negative and then down 2 squares. Now, because of that plus 4 in brackets, we go to the opposite direction. It's a plus 4, so the graph moves 4 squares to the left, to the negative 4. And then because there's a minus 2, we have to go down 2. So the vertex has gone 4 to the left and 4 down. Right, a couple of things to go away and practice and get your head around. Thanks very much for watching in.